Good evening, it's January 9th, 2025. I'm sitting with Mr. John J. Jeckovich reading his book, Their Mother's Sons. We're on chapter 22, which is titled, Store Opening and Closing. How are you feeling today, Mr. Jeckovich?
Too much bad news.
Yeah, the storms and the fires, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, on the good side, I heard you have a beautiful visitor today.
Oh.
Who'd you have visitor to you?
Amber.
Yeah, Amber Nicole Jeckovich is Mr. Jeckovich's great-granddaughter, a fine young girl in her 20s, full-time missionary, full-time surfer, avid surfer. She surfs around the world, and while she's in the States, she's been with Mr. Jeckovich 3 or 4 or 5 times a week coming visiting. They're like 2 peas in a pod. What a wonderful girl. Refreshing to see a youngster like this. Very refreshing. Amber, when she's in Florida, lives on the ocean. She can roll out of bed and she surfs. But as a surfer like Amber, she chases the waves. She's surfed all over the world. All over the world. She hasn't missed. She's always chasing the wave. And now it's beginning to be summer in Australia, and there she goes. She'll miss her deeply. She'll be surfing in Australia. And then on the way back, before that she stops at Martinique, then Australia. Then on the way back she will spend maybe a month or 2 in Hawaii, and then probably 2 months in Australia. And by the time all that's said and done, the weather should be beautiful in Florida again, and she'll be ready to go, and we'll see Amber again. She just came back from 3 months surfing in California, where she was in Malibu for 3 months. Unfortunately, the fires are there now. She missed them, and what a bad thing that's taking place. So did you enjoy your time with Amber?
Oh, yeah.
What a fine young lady.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart. She's a sweetheart, yeah.
What a fine... I always kid with Amber. I told her when I grow up I want to be just like you. Footloose, fancy-free, on the go all the time, and at the same time spreading the beautiful word of the Lord. Many people today are egocentric, not Amber. Amber's Christocentric, and it really shows with her beautiful attitude and how she shines when she walks in every room with this Bible she's always toting. The Bible's completely worn out, but she doesn't want a new one. She says everything marked on there. Are you going someplace?
Oh, I got stuck at the steer.
Okay, you're all right now. Yeah. You all right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Jeckovich is from Company H, the 2nd Battalion of the 291st Regiment of the 75th Infantry Division of the U.S. Army during World War II. Mr. Jeckovich lives by the motto, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, and today is a gift. We just brought to my attention that Mr. Jeckovich, you had a little problem with that wheelchair, right?
Yeah.
I noticed your foot's bothering you too.
Yeah, I got
Frostbite?
Frostbite, yeah.
During World War II, right out of high school, Mr. Jeckovich was shot in the shoulder by a sniper. He had frostbite, trench foot, bombed, trash bomb went over his head, and he still has shrapnel in it. And anything else he had stabbed and beat up, anything else they could throw at him, they did. He spent several months in a hospital in Paris, and at that time there they needed frontline soldiers. Mr. Jeckovich was a frontline soldier and ended his battle career at the Battle of Bulge, one of the most bloodiest and coldest battles in the history of World War II, and maybe the history of the world. So today Mr. Jeckovich still suffers when frostbite. So when it gets cold, your foot acts up, right?
Yeah.
Wow. And then the only reason why Mr. Jeckovich is in a wheelchair because he jogged for 80 years. He jogged for 80 years, right?
Yeah.
And so there was a trade-off. Mr. Jeckovich jogged for 80 years. Now he's got abundant health. He reads 3 newspapers in the morning with no glasses at all. Never took a prescription in his life. Never took a vitamin in his life. And he's in perfect all-round health. But the trade-off was jogging for 80 years kept him in his fine shape. In fact, Mr. Jeckovich jokes and says he's got 2 doctors, his left leg and his right leg. His left leg and his right leg. So that means you jogged for 80 years and also you worked at Kimberly-Clark for 35 years.
Yeah.
And how'd you get to Kimberly-Clark? How'd you get to Kimberly-Clark?
How did I get to Kimberly-Clark?
Yeah.
After I got out of the service.
No, but how would you transport yourself? Did you drive your car?
No, I walked.
So for 35 years, Mr. Jeckovich walked to work. And what would you do during a snowstorm?
Walked to work.
What would you do during a rainstorm?
Walked to work.
So there was a great trade-off. All this exercise kept him sharp as a tack, fit as a fiddle, but the trade-off is his knees blew out. Once your knees blow out, it's a whole other story, right?
Yeah.
And Mr. Jeckovich is knocking on the door of 100. Soon he'll be 100. Mr. Jeckovich was born in 1925, now 2025. And Mr. Jeckovich was born during the Depression, but you never thought you were poor?
No, we didn't suffer at all.
You didn't think you were poor? Mr. Jeckovich, his father came over from Russia, and illegal immigrant through Ellis Island, and if you offered him something but no one did, they wouldn't accept it anyways. He worked to earn his way. He made the United States better. He had several different jobs, but basically working himself to death to support his family. At the age of 43, doing cement work, he had a massive heart attack, and that was the end of it. So from that point on, this is how we're getting to this book. Their mother's sons. From a young boy, 11 or 12, he was the caretaker of his mother, and to her death when she was 89. When your father died, tell us the scenario. Who came and got you to take you to the hospital?
The police took me there.
And what did the police say? Your father was injured?
Yeah, your father was injured, yeah.
So he dropped you off at the front door of the hospital in Niagara Falls, New York, and then what?
I asked them where my father was, and they said, well, we'll take you down there. And I got stunned when she said, take you down.
So the key word was down, and now you knew there was trouble.
Yeah.
Where'd she take you down?
Took me down to the morgue.
Took you down to the morgue. But you thought you were going to go to the second or third floor.
Yeah.
Second or third floor to see him. He might have hurt his wrist or something.
Yeah.
Right? So you went down to the morgue, and then what was said to you?
They said, look at your father's pocket, see what he's got, and record it down.
And what was in your father's pockets?
They already had the Prince Albert tin, those papers that they wrapped up.
So he rolled his own cigarettes.
Yeah.
What else was in his
And
pocket?
a couple quarters, couple dimes.
Anything else?
The keys to the house.
And keys to the house. And that was the end of it.
Yeah.
And so from that point on, you took care of your mother.
Yeah.
But you had 2 brothers. What did they do?
Not much.
You had a sister. What did she do?
Not much.
Does it feel like yesterday you're 20 years old?
Yeah.
I mean, the other day you said you felt like you had a mind of a 30-year-old. Did you feel that today?
A mind of a 30-year-old?
The other day you felt really, you were sharp.
Who?
You said you had a young mind. Do you feel like the mind of a 30-year-old today?
Well, I'm saying that?
Yeah, well, do you feel like you have a young mind today?
I don't think of myself as 99.
Can't believe it.
No.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize it. If you're 40 years old listening, I know we have a lot of listeners that are in their 30s and 40s. There's a 10% chance you'll make it to 100. It's a hard thing to do. And the older you get, the harder it is, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Especially if you're confined to the wheelchair. So when Mr. Jeckovich started jogging, it was not fashionable. It was not fashionable. People would say, what did they say to you when you're jogging?
Get off the street, bum.
They thought he was running because he was a bum and he couldn't afford a car. What did they throw at you?
Cans of pill, cans of this and that.
They throw
rocks at me.
They thought he was a bum jogging. He had corduroy pants on, old sweatshirt, and some type of boots. And he was jogging for health. But the world at that time didn't understand it. They thought the only reason why you jog is you can't afford a car.
Yeah.
Or you're running from the police. At one time they threw a bunch of beer cans over the time. One time they threw a full can of Campbell's soup, popped them right in the head. But I have a funny suspicion that all those people that told Mr. Jeckovich that get off the road, you bum, are all pushing up daisies today, and there he is, larger than life. But on the other side of it, like Mr. Jeckovich said earlier today, it's hard getting old, correct?
Oh, yeah.
See, a lot of people don't understand. Once you get your knees blow out, the knees are the factor. Once you get your knees blow out, you need help with the restroom, you need help with dressing, you need help with going anywhere, you need help with everything from A to C that you take for granted now. And as a result, you need a staff of 7 to 10 people to make everything work smoothly. And if you don't have that, you'd be in trouble, right? You need a good staff. And then also keep in mind, it's not cheap being old, right?
No.
Hit you for 1,000 here, they hit you for 10 here, 50,000 here. And I'll relay the reality here so people will know. For example, I had someone tell us last month on their reading, they said, hey, listen, I got my house paid for and I have $1 million in the bank. They say, I got my house paid for and I have $1 million in the bank. My response to them is, I would not want to be you. I would not want to be you because you'll easily outlive your money. And they say, how could that be? Again, let me give you an example. Many people outlive their money in the 60s. This guy's pushing 100. He didn't outlive his money. He's financially great. But let me give you an example of the person that said that they have their house paid for and they have $1 million in the bank. If you want to stay in your own home and you need care to keep in your own home, that's going to be a staff, 2 people per shift, 31 days in a month, and keeping up a labor bill of 2 people per shift, taking care of your house maintenance, the groceries, medical, and everything under the sun. That'll easily on the set you back $40,000 a month. There's no question about it. 1 year's almost $500,000. 2 years, $1 million. So giving that example that they said, I have my house paid for and I have $1 million in the bank, by 2 years you're broke. By 2 years you outlived your money. You don't want to outlive your money. This is giving young people an idea how expensive it is to live at home. It's not cheap. It's not cheap. A lot of young people will say, oh, well, let me figure it out, they'll say. They have a brilliant idea. The young people have a brilliant idea. We call them young 40. They're not really young. They're knocking on the door of old anyways. But we'll say to young people for argument's sake. They have a beautiful idea. They go, okay, I run out of money, but now I have my sons and daughters to take care of you. How does that work out?
Oh, not very well.
Not very well. Not very well. When everything is nice in your life and you're going to picnics with your sons and daughters and you're going to movies with them and you're visiting for Thanksgiving and you're visiting for Christmas, exchanging gifts and maybe singing Kumbaya and maybe singing Kumbaya fucking yeah. Everything's nice. Everything's perfect. But in most cases, not all, there's a couple angels and saints out there, not many, but in most cases, when your so-called sons and daughters you counted on to take care of you, they will abandon you like a rat will abandon a sinking ship. I'll say it again. Once there's money involved at their expense and time, most of your sons and daughters will abandon you like a rat on a sinking ship. It's interesting that rats have a sixth sense. When a ship is beginning to sink, they all jump. For example, in the Titanic, over 6,000 rats jumped off that ship, right? And now all these people going on these beautiful Disney cruises and all the rest. Newsflash, they all have rats on them. It's just the way it is and the way it was and always will be. Rats have a way of getting on ships. Next time you go on a cruise, look at the long ropes keeping the ship to the harbor. But look at the middle of those long ropes. You have these cones, and these cones are supposed to stop rats from running up the rope inside the ship. Guess what? It doesn't work. It doesn't work. So two things we wanted to discuss for younger people to think about. We don't have the answers, but to give you something to think about. Number one, good possibility you outlive your money. Number two, don't count on your sons and daughters. No. Mr. Jeckovich has two sons and abandoned them. One son is with a stone's throw of his house. Him and his son and his daughter-in-law abandoned him like a rat on a sinking ship. And they're supposed to be family people.
He's man of the year where he lives.
Yeah. What kind of example are they setting for their children or their grandchildren when they know they're abandoning their father that's knocking on the door of 100 years old? That's a World War II veteran besides. If it wasn't for this man, these people in the United States might be speaking German, and they'd be censored about everything. So two things. You might outlive your money. And two, don't count on your sons and daughters. And he has another son somewhere up north. When's the last time you seen the other son? We don't even know if he's alive.
Who?
10 years.
JK?
Yeah, 10 years. You know?
Yeah, never called up or nothing.
And you have a daughter. What happened to your daughter?
Yeah.
What happened to your daughter?
Yeah. My son was man of the year down there.
Oh, man of the year, but he abandons his 100-year-old
Yeah, he's
father.
man of the year.
So here's what we're trying to tell you. Wake up, people. You think you got this beautiful family, but guess what? That's not reality. Most of them are sociopaths with no empathy. Most of them are sociopaths with no empathy. Keep in mind this. You might find out the hard way, and you might not live to 100, so you don't have to fucking worry about it. You might kick the bucket in your 50s, so you don't have to give a shit what we're talking about now. But keep in mind this. Some of the most poisonous people on earth come disguised as family. Let me say it again. Some of the most poisonous people on earth come disguised as family. 90% of the time you can't count them. So wake up and figure out another plan. I don't have the answers, but I'll make you aware of it. Make you aware of it. Yeah. Some of the most poisonous people on earth. Some of the most poisonous people on earth will come disguised as family. That reminds me of a young kid that was the last of the known hippies. His name was Mark. He had a heart of gold, and he's long gone. The world was too cruel for him. It ate him up. It ate him alive. But he'd say to me all the time, I didn't quite understand it. I do now. I do now. Mark used to say He hitchhiked playing his guitar for money or whatever he did, crisscross the United States and Mexico and Hawaii. I bailed him out probably of 10 different states. And the story's long, not needed now. But he used to say to me, strangers treat me better than family. Strangers treat me better than family. I didn't understand what the hell he's talking about now, but after talking to Mr. Jeckovich in these interviews, I certainly do. You remember good old Mark?
Yeah.
Guy was an angel. World was too cruel for him.
Yeah.
So that's something for the younger people to think about. And minutes, please. Yeah.
Nine.
Okay, store opening and closing, page 782. He said he could rent the basement now. This is a shed. No. This is what was that Guinea landlord's name?
DeLuca.
This is DeLuca's word. He was a piece of shit, wasn't he?
Yeah.
DeLuca said he could have rented the basement, and now he was denied the right due to our post.
Yeah.
You put post in the basement to hold up the floor.
Yeah. Haul up the concrete for the
All
washer.
three of them. You put 3 posts.
Yeah.
This guy's a typical piece of shit. He wanted added rent to drop the ceiling, claiming it cost him more to heat the upper apartment. So anything you improved, he was complaining about that was costing him money.
Yeah.
What kind of person was this DeLuca?
He was a pain in the ass.
But what is he, in construction? What was he?
He's a half-ass minister.
Now I hear it. A fucking minister. When these guys wear religion on their sleeve, people, run. In fact, I go by the 3 Ps. I won't rent any of my commercial property or my residential property to the 3 Ps. Remember this. I won't rent them to preachers, pimps, or prostitutes. Every time you do, you're in big trouble. So he was a minister,
Yeah.
and he was chasing you down for money,
Yeah.
extra money every month. How long was that store vacated for before you got in it?
Probably 20 years.
So you took something and made it nice,
Yeah.
and then his greed just ate him alive.
Yeah.
But he was telling you, how about when he used the word damn one time? What did he tell you?
What?
When you used a swear word in front of him, what did he say?
Please do not swear that you shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be doing that. I would say damn.
These fucking so-called preachers. Deal with them every time. And I avoid them like the plague. Each week was something different and more outrageous than the previous week. We went to court several times due to the allegations, and each time we prevailed. But you had to pay the attorney.
Yeah.
So even if you won, you lost.
Yeah.
Attorney's fees. But it cost us an attorney's fees plus a toll was taken on an emotional state. Yeah, that's a pain in the ass always going into deposition in court. But it cost us an attorney's fees plus a toll it was taken on an emotional state. I was losing patience with him, and Shad advised me to try to get along with him as best as I could. That was no simple task.
Yeah.
The summer had gone by quickly, and my kids started school. I was determined to give him as much attention in the previous years and not let my preoccupation with the store get in the way. I enjoyed participating in projects, and it did not detract from the enjoyment. Oh, okay, here's a good point. Your sister, her name was Sally, right?
Yeah.
My sister had managed to get married in May of that year. Someone we hardly knew. Who'd she marry?
She married what the hell was his name?
Charles? Charlie?
Yeah, the guy who smoked cigars.
Charlie.
Yeah.
So she married a guy a lot older than her, right?
Yeah.
So let's see here. Let's see what you said about him. It's in May of that year to someone we hardly. So you didn't even know Charlie.
Huh?
You didn't know nothing about Charlie, right?
No.
Okay. It seemed the pattern had been repeated once again, As with Lookie, what did Lookie marry someone you didn't know? You said the pattern appeared again, as with Lookie. Did Lookie get married to somebody you didn't know?
Look, he did.
Yeah, who did Lookie marry?
He was never a part of the family, never.
Okay. Sally had told Delphine a little bit about Charles, but it was sketchy, and Delphine did not press the issue. Our main concern would be Mother, now that Sally had moved out and started a life of her own. Mother would now be alone downstairs, something we had considered but kept evading. So Sally, your sister, lived downstairs with your mother.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm seeing. Mother would now be all alone downstairs, something we considered but been evaded. Now it had a more paramount issue which would have to be dealt with by us. We had no concrete plans, but we were determined to not let the store get in the way of our concern for Mother. Mother had gone to visit Steve and Millie in Pittsburgh for several weeks, and we had the house ourselves. How did that visit your mother did to Steve and Millie in Pittsburgh go?
She was there 2 days. She called me back, pick her up.
What'd she say?
She said, pick me up. I can't stand this place.
Oh. And did you go and get her?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
We had a picnic in the backyard. I got a small plastic pool for the kids. When I was working afternoons, Delphine would sit in the backyard and watch the kids play in the pool, which was nice. But back then, the husband worked and the wife took care of the family.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
How is it today?
Reverse.
Yeah. And today we have, let's see, we have a house and home husband, and then we have an office or work husband. Huh? How the hell does that work out? Not good. Not good. Maybe that's why there's 90,000 divorces in Florida. We did not have anyone to visit us outside of Delphine's mother and father on rare occasions, and they never stayed long. So Delphine's mother and father would come occasionally.
On a Sunday afternoon, yeah.
They would usually come on a Sunday. There you go. You got a great memory. Holy shit. Delphine was glad to see them, but we had become a little perturbed at her mother constantly talking about Gloria and Seal's children and not paying too much attention to our children. Well, that's a typical pattern. So her mother came in and was talking about her other grandkids and didn't give two shits about...
She has a daughter working in Washington and she thought she was working.
Oh, okay. Okay, I get it. Delphine's father would stay for a short period and then leave to visit some friends he knew in the Falls. Minutes, please. So he grew up in the Falls, your father-in-law.
Yeah.
1 minute, 40 seconds.
Okay, so let's talk about this. So they'd come and visit, and then he'd leave your mother-in-law there, and he would take off visiting friends.
Yeah, he would, yeah.
Did you ever go with your father-in-law?
No.
What kind of work was your father-in-law in?
Father was a contractor building houses.
He was a nice man though, right?
He was a nice man, yeah.
And was he always dressed up to the nines?
Always dressed up with vest on, tie on, jacket on, suit jacket on.
Yeah. How was your mother-in-law?
Mother was Gabby.
She Gabby?
Yeah.
When she came to visit, did she bring her dog?
No. She knew we didn't want any dogs.
Did Delphine want to take that dog and bring it to your house when she got married?
No. Delphine never mentioned it.
Did Delphine's mother and father smoke in your house?
No. The father did, yeah.
Yeah. When Sally married Uncle Charlie, did he smoke cigars in your house?
No. He went outside.
Outside.
That cigar smoke stunk everything up.
Oh, yeah. It gets on your clothes, you can't get it out.
Yeah.
Didn't you put signs up all over, no smoking?
Well, my mother put one downstairs, no smoking.
And did they listen?
And they knew I didn't, they couldn't smoke upstairs.
Did they listen to those?
Oh, yeah, because when they went outside, they went in the backyard.
Wow, seconds?
15.
Wow. So back then you were dealing with a lot of characters.
Huh?
Back then you were dealing with a lot of characters.
Oh, yeah, relatives I never knew.
Relatives you didn't even knew. Wow.